In a day where referee Dennis Braybrook sent 3 players from the field at Belmore, Cronulla's Bill Annabelle ordered off at Redfern, Steve Hargey an early shower at Leichhardt, and Royce Ayliffe sent from the field at Jubilee, the New South Wales Rugby League executive is almost certain tonight to hold an inquiry into the weekend's violence. The Belmore fiasco involved Canterbury's Greg Cook being ordered off firstly, and then he was followed by West John Donnelly and John Donnelly. Following the game, several players made it very clear that they didn't agree with Braybrook. At least 3 West players hurled abuse at the referee as they filed through the tunnel to the dressing rooms. Another Magpie player, who has a close association with an evening newspaper, blamed the media for the debacle. West coach Roy Masters calmed the wild scenes after the game, ordering his players and officials to shut up and say nothing further. Of the players ordered off yesterday, 3, Donnelly, Cook and Ayliffe, will be appearing for the second time before the judiciary. Ayliffe, sent off at Cogra, claims he was bitten at least 3 times. But as the judiciary prepares to hear the cases involving the 6 players, club officials will wait with bated breath as the lengthy suspensions could shatter their semi-final ambitions. With 5.5 rounds still to be decided, here is the premiership table with only 4 points separating 6 sides. St George, with 6 matches remaining, lead on 24. Then Parramatta and Canterbury, with 5 games to play, are on 22 in equal second. Balmain, with 6 to play, are on 4th at 21. Cronulla, with 6 to play, and West, with 5 to play, are equal 5th on 20. And then, of course, Manly, 3 points away in 7th spot, appear out of the race back on 17 points. Now, the big question is, which of the top 6 will miss the cut-off? So let's have a look at the remaining games for each of those 6 sides in this incredible 1979 premiership. Firstly, St George seem assured of not only a spot in the 5, but as well, they appear to have a stranglehold on the minor premiership, although in the next 3 weeks they play...
And his punching charge will now be heard tomorrow night. And then the West players left the club with their coach Roy Masters. They were really upset, and John Donnelly showed his displeasure by swearing and then spitting. The 6th player, Steve Hargey from Newtown, will also face the judiciary tomorrow night. Hargey was supposed to appear last night, but the referee from the Balmain Newtown match, Gary Cook, was indisposed and couldn't give evidence. League President Kevin Humphreys viewed the Donnelly incident in one of our news cruises today. He refused to comment, but has requested a tape of the incident to show to the league executive on Thursday night. It's Thursday night that the presidents and secretaries of the 12 clubs have been summoned to league headquarters to discuss the mounting violence in the game. At that meeting, plans will be announced for a new committee which will have the power to take action against any club whose players are found guilty of violent conduct. We tried to contact John Donnelly today to get his side of the story as far as the suspension and the violence goes, but we couldn't reach him. We'll try again tomorrow, and if you're watching, John, we'd really like to hear your side of the story. Back to you, Roger.
Thank you, Mike. And more news after this break.
A treatment for their star fullback, John Donnelly. At the judicial inquiry last night, Donnelly received a 4-match suspension. He'll be charged with using a forearm to the head of an opponent, while the big West prop John Donnelly was suspended for 5 games on a similar charge. Wests are understandably concerned. The loss of these 2 top players must seriously jeopardise their chances of making the semi-finals. In an exclusive interview today, Graham McNeice spoke to a concerned Magpies coach Roy Masters.
Masters was unhappy over the replacement referee for Greg Hartley, who withdrew last Thursday morning through injury. Masters felt a far more experienced referee would handle the match, and the elevation of Dennis Braybrook from reserve came as something of a shock to the Magpies coach.
Yes, it did, Graham. It surprised me, particularly insofar as referee Braybrook was appointed to a Canterbury Western Suburbs reserve grade game, and our reserve grade team were running last in the competition. So, in fact, it was a reserve grade referee of fairly low standing in the eyes of the referees appointments board people, and so it certainly did surprise me, particularly when they knew on Thursday morning that Greg Hartley had withdrawn.
It's quite obvious that Western Suburbs have been singled out as, say, the ringleaders of the violence incurred in rugby league at the present time. Do you think that's justified?
No, I don't think it's justified. It takes 2 to tango. In most of the games that we've played this year, the 3 or 4 which have been written up in the media as being quite violent encounters, it hasn't been one-sided. And as a matter of fact, probably the tables are turning a little bit now. I see teams are going out deliberately to provoke us and get some of our fellows fired up. And probably a little bit of that happened on Sunday when, in the first instance, Canterbury had a player sent from the field, where our blokes at that stage in time two of them got penalised at a later time and suspended, sent from the field. Whereas that's not a characteristic of our players, because they know that if you're playing with 13 men and the opposition have got 12, the points are in your favour. We seem to have an image of being a team which is thugs and violent and all the rest of it, whereas we do play some very good games of football where we move the ball about, and probably the classic case of that was our encounters against both Balmain and Parramatta. Very few cautions handed out during the course of the game. Played in good spirit and some very good tries scored.
You won 6 matches on the trot. You've lost your last 4. Wests are now in trouble. What about the final 5?
Well, discounting perhaps Manly's chances of making the 5, we are the only team which can put any pressure on the remaining 5 teams in the competition, which we intend to do. We have to win 4 of our next 5 games. We're down on one knee, but we're not down on both. I think we'll make it.
All right.